Hello and welcome back. I'm Bebo and this is Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We are back at Season X, Fix It. And today we're gonna decipher if whatever Bebo Joe was talking about on Trine with that city to the left over there was actually worth anything, or if that was complete nonsense. We're pretty much ready, so let's just turn this on. The whole city is not ready yet. But we pretty much have everything that we need. We have 78,000 people. That is because 5,000 people over here in the meatpacking plant just decided to not be happy anymore. And I will investigate that as we go along. But for right now, we have a little bit of meat. We can import some, and that is not the biggest problem that we have. But we went down several people because of that. I really hope this is not a bug. No, okay, it moved. I was like, is it just going to stick at -0 degrees? The answer is no. No, it will not. Okay. So we have all of this. Not all of the buildings are filled in. I have a couple vehicles being produced in the vehicle factories. For this, I don't think it's going to be enough. The primary items that we needed is trash people over here, and they have some help with some distribution office trucks that will show up here eventually. And then I feel that at the very least I should get a couple... Oh, there's a long line of trains waiting here, which is probably not a good thing. I should get a couple fire trucks convinced to actually show up over here, and a couple buses already delivered to that area because we want to turn this on relatively soon. So, besides fire, we're pretty much ready to go on everything, so that's super exciting. Do I have some fire trucks out here that I can steal? This is just helicopters. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm planning on just getting a ship ready and importing a couple vehicles for me, and we're just going to see how that works out. But for right now, let's do the thing. Because in Workers and Resources, you are never done with doing the thing that you were doing, because you will never be done with doing the next thing before you get distracted by the other thing that you haven't done yet, but definitely need to do. And that's what we're doing right now. What are we doing right now? Making sure that we have everything that these buildings need before we do anything silly. Temperature in building is too low. That's fine. The heating plant is over here. The heating plant does have no workers right now, but that's okay. We can fix that with a simple bus. Don't have to do anything crazy about that, so that should be fine. Also, our temperature is going in the right direction, so that is okay. But everything else, they are hooked up to sewage as far as I know. Like, there's sewage connected here. There is a water connection right here. Then there is, if we hover over here, they have water that is in a blue solid line that tells me it is actually built and ready. Assuming that all the other pieces are built, and they are, so that's good. Heat, they're getting some heat from several sources. Waste, they're getting some waste, well, connections, and then sewage, obviously, as you can see here. All the pipes are kind of going all the way over here to the sewage outlet, and that seems to be having what they need. So far, so good, I think. How much money do we owe? Oh, so much. I got back up to 1.5. So if this doesn't work, we're dead. What are we going to do then? Are we going to go back to, you know, the episode that you started 3 episodes ago and try something different? Maybe. I don't know yet. I'm sure there are different angles to do something about here, but for right now, this is where we are, and we don't have a lot of money left to make this work. The coal industry island that I had down on the south of the city, on the south of everything, like down here where we produce most of our coal, plus we have the mini-me island out there. This wasn't working, and it wasn't working because of one simple stupid problem, which was this tiny little substation was burned down and wasn't doing anything anymore, which is why everything kind of got stuck, and this thing couldn't go through the waste, through the recycling plant, and everything was kind of terrible. But it's working now, and the ships are producing again. We actually have a little bit of coal sitting right here. Not a ton, specifically 151 tons. So that's better. We have coal. We need coal if we want to turn on steel a lot more. We have Mini-Me that produces a lot of coal, so there's that part too. So let's just see what happens when we turn this thing on. How expensive is this going to be? Well, I don't have to invite just brand new citizens, but I don't really want to invite... I'm going to turn this off for just a minute so we don't lose any more citizens to this part. And can we get more babies? Yes, we can get more babies. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, let's turn this on. mostly money. I haven't really fully adjusted all of the building, or yeah, all of the buildings, all of the workplaces that we have around here. I hope that I don't have to, but let's just kick this one in gear. I'm gonna get the first one full. 600 people should be enough to manage most of the public buildings that we have around here. So let's just see what that does and what it does to our money. Those guys are on their way to do something, and what I want to see after a few seconds is what they are complaining about potentially. And one thing that I should really look at is, would these guys complain about no kindergarten? They're connected to that one, and they're barely connected to the one down here as well. So that is a little lucky. But right now, nobody's complaining about anything in particular. Yes, it is a little cooler than they probably would like it to be, but it's not the end of the world, and that's probably a thing that I can turn on pretty much right away. Let's get the buses going while we're in the area, because that's important. Yes, I could have done all of this without you guys, but where's the fun in that? Can I get 8 buses into... No, I definitely didn't want to do that, but 8 buses into the depot, please, while we're turning the rest of these buildings on. I'm going to spread out my people a little bit so we can get more of them convinced that this is a good idea. I know that I'm running out of money. I still have 150 million sitting there. Again, once we're out of this, and this money increases as we get more people, so the more people we invite with our money, the more money we can borrow. But as you can see, this is a hefty sum that we still have to deal with sooner or later. Yes, I can spend a little bit of money on the NATO people. They're very cheap for me right now. So that may be a pretty good option for refilling some of the cities that we have lost a couple of people now. But this should be a good enough start. Is that going to be good enough? That is exactly the question that we're trying to answer here. So let's just let them start running. I already have all the grocery stores set up to do what they're supposed to do. Here's the school. Great. We have some students sitting here. That's wonderful. How about the medical university? You do not have... You don't have enough temperature, obviously, but once people walk in here, apparently the temperature goes away. Interesting things are going on here. I don't really want to reduce the number of workers yet because the whole city is still in the growth phase. And while it's growing, things may change. You guys are trying to get some fuel. Okay, that's fine. Just do your thing. We're going to turn the buses on and send them to all the places in just a second. And I'm not convinced that we have workers waiting here. We have 300 workers waiting here. That's a lot more than I expected, and I'm very happy to actually see that. I did set this one up to be a little lower already. This one is also a little lower, but oh, you don't actually have drinking water. Very interesting. So this is where it comes in. Yeah, this one is just outside the drinking water range. What about you? You are in a drinking water and in the sewage range. Are you out of both ranges? Sewage and drinking water is not available. All right, we're gonna build you a special little thing because we like you so much. How about that? So we get water from here, and I want to make sure that whatever we do here with the water actually benefits more buildings than just the secret police down there. And then we're gonna get our sewage tank. We have a couple sewage switches right there, so this should be relatively easy to do right here. Get me a small water pipe because I have no interest in wasting water on that secret police. That should be fine. And then a small sewage pipe, same reasoning. Don't waste any materials on this. All right. Sewage pipe says no, thank you. Do I need to pause everything here, or can I just let it get all bedded in? I think I can let it all get bedded in. The only problem that I really have is the money. 12 meters here. Okay, can we go? There's 13 meters here. It's not really going to help us, but there's about 12 meters here. So let's try it from this angle. Yeah, 12 something should be fine. Small pipe run from F3 here to here. Seems to be pretty happy about that, so that should be good. Get all of this associated with someone to work on. I'm actually going to waste some time and money on our helicopters, as well as our construction crew that's already in the area for some other materials. That should be fine. This should be a pretty good boost. 126 million for a little bit of iron that we can get rid of. That's gonna help. That's gonna help a lot, but that's nothing I did. We did find some booze along the way, so that's pretty cool. But these guys seem to be doing what they're supposed to do. I'm very surprised that the Nurple Flats do not complain about the heat, but everyone else seems to be complaining about it, so that's good for me. It's only 7 degrees outside, but maybe that's a bug in the system. But yeah, heat is going down slowly. That's fine. Money is going up. That's good. I do expect my buses to be available now. These are all brand new buses, so I hope this is all going to work out. Just for simplicity, I'm going to start with how the power just turned out off. I don't like that. I don't know why it turned off, but it was off. I don't like that. So we're going to go from the end station to here, and we're going to end up at the heating plant, and I'm just going to have one bus doing that. And on your way back, you may as well stop right here and drop off whoever you want. I will not let you load passengers at that stage, but that's just a single bus that's just supposed to bring us a little bit of heat. Cool. The other buses are going to be much more straightforward. You're going to go here, pick up people from there, bring them to the steel mill. While you were gone, I did add this bus stop down here to make, you know, life a little easier, and that should be fine. And you can just go back here and just drop off whoever you have left over at the mechanical components plant. And I'm going to add at least 3 more buses to that behavior. You, sir, are the only bus that didn't make it onto the group, so you can jump in there just to make sure we get all those things done. Yes, there's a train line, an active train line running through here, but I'm hoping that that's not going to hurt us too much. And as you can see, we're already full on the workers right there. And I like to see this. I really like seeing this. Having 250 workers sitting here waiting for their better lives is exactly the kind of thing that I'm hoping for when I was building all of these things. This is my building structure that's currently producing a couple more buses. I don't know that I have enough buses yet. I don't know that I have too few, but what I would like to do is put at least some of my fire trucks in front of this, and then we can put a couple of our emergency vehicles in front of that too. So we can at least turn on all of the buildings that we have. That's really all I care about here. You're not currently maxed out. I don't know why. We may as well just max you out because it seems to work. It says 400 million in the bank. Don't get distracted by that. That's not real. That's fake money. We have to wait for things to actually get better for us. So we're just going to have to, well, wait and see until things are actually looking up for how we need to do whatever we need to do here. Great. With all that said, this city can take more people in. That's the main subject that we're really going to run into here. So bear with me for a little while longer. We're going to get a couple NATO people in, and I feel like you may have a little bit of trouble getting to... No, you don't have trouble getting to the school here at all. I would like to prefer students with higher education. I think that would be better. We need a lot more teachers, which means this thing needs to have prefer students with higher education, but let's even this out to a number that actually is reasonable. We need more higher educated people, yes, but we're looking pretty okay. Yeah, at this point, I don't want to invite any NATO people because this school has already been relatively full, and we're nowhere near capacity on all the buildings that we have. So keep an eye on all that. But let's keep doing this because we do need to churn out more steel like yesterday. So I'm just going to keep inviting more and more people until that is actually in the cards for us. I think this one's the next one. And then you may ask, but Beeble you haven't even built all of the buildings yet, to which I would say, you are correct. That is kind of part of what this city can do with just minimal help, because all the other buildings that may or may not go through there now should be able to do the things that I want them to do. Actual population is 5,200, but only 3,500 of those are currently workers, and all that seems to be okay. We got a lot of school-age kids. Makes me a little nervous, but it may be okay for a little while. Looks like this is churning out a little extra already, so that is a good thing, I think. Let's go talk to you guys and see if I can get the next 2 buses in here. There's only 4 buses really assigned to this, really not that much. And the nice thing here is we may... Looks like one of the buses got used to replace another bus that was already there. Let's follow this guy. How about that? Yes, that's not a terrible idea, and then we can talk about a couple other things. Because why not? Let's do this dynamic FPS camera. So, will we have enough money? I honestly don't know. I am removing the biggest import that we have, and the biggest producer of money that we have requires a lot of that import, which is steel. I'm very surprised by that, but not really. But I hope this kind of works out, because if it's not this, it is a whole other industry, or it is turning off a bunch of other cities that we already have in the environment. So I don't want to really go that route to turn off any cities that we have already. We could retract all the way to the peninsula. That is absolutely possible. And I think that will be the easiest way to survive everything that's going on here, but I would really, really much rather avoid that entirely, because retreat is not an option, right? You guys, there's too much traffic going on here. Maybe this was a bad route to pick anyways in the first place, but let's just see what we can do here. That's fine. You can do the slow way where you just click on the yellow dot right there. The faster way is to actually use signage, place crossings, and then as long as you use the default path, you shouldn't have trouble. But as long as you put, well, like road signs like this, you actually, and if you just double click on that, they change around a little bit, you actually get less slowdown. Like sometimes I like to slow down for unsignaled intersections, and that's never great. But adding these, yeah, this one doesn't quite do what I wanted to do, but if you at least go straight through, that will be fine. Yeah, slowing down is annoying, so I'm just trying to help that by adding a couple signs here, and hopefully they understand what I want. The game understands where your traffic kind of wants to go. I do know that this is not the best traffic routing that I have set up here already, but I think it's all relative, because it should all work eventually, at least in our favor a little bit. And yeah, all of these should mean that vehicles just don't have to slow down. You can expand the nodes a little bit if that is something you want to do. I don't think that's quite necessary yet. Oh, I'm going to show you that right here. Because this node, these two nodes are way too close together. The way that I had to put that in is just the way that it is. I could add this. I think that's not a bad idea. And add that one, because that will make the pathing a little easier. All we really need is a couple workers and a little bit of gravel. So that's probably a pretty good investment. All right. Let you chew through this. 5,000 tons of coal sitting there. That's good. We're going to increase our pollution now, but that is okay. We should have enough iron coming through, and there's already a little bit of steel sitting right there. That's exciting. There's more steel sitting here. Those are all good news. Check on your people. What are they doing? They're complaining about not enough work, and I don't see buses backing up in this area yet. You know what that means? We need the new buses to actually show up here. And with the magic of YouTube, we'll be right back. Behold, the buses have arrived. So let's double up the current number of buses that we have available for that line, and then we can take a little assessment of, is it too much? Is it way too little? Is it reasonable but not quite right yet? What should we do here? I see this guy complaining about replacement, so I'm going to send this one over here for actually getting replaced. It is supposed to go get replaced by itself anyway. Oh, no, it actually... Okay, I was wrong. I thought there was a bunch of flatbed trucks or open haul trucks sitting over here, but obviously that's no longer the case, so we'll see when that one's actually going to become available, but that should be fine. We have a couple ambulances and police cars sitting here now, though. That's exciting now. And none of the fire trucks, which tells me the fire trucks are probably in high demand, so let's push them back to the front, and hopefully we get a couple of them showing up eventually in our dear city, where all of the hardworking citizens have to go. I said have to go, not can go, just in case you're curious. That should be enough vehicles that I wanted to send out there. Okay, this, yeah, it's not ideal. but I think it's fine. The buses are kind of doing their thing. So what I'm really looking for here in the time that we have, and I only have relative time because we're looking at the numbers going the wrong way, all of the new buses that I set here should have a real timer associated with them. There are a couple things that are important here. First, I want to spread these out. Get the buses to naturally align with the time, well, not with the timer, but with the frequency that they have to run. As you can see right now, there's a bus just arriving at the bus stop, at the top of the corner, and that's when the next bus goes out. Is that sufficient? I do not have the answer to that yet, but it looks like it's a pretty good frequency, but it looks like there's a ton of workers waiting here to do more. And there's more stuff we can do here. This is not the last straw. I'm just trying to understand where we are. So here we are. The buses have kind of finagled themselves into what actually needs to happen, and that is a good thing. That's what I wanted them to do. There's only 1 or 2 buses parked here at the same time, and that was 2 buses. One was for the maybe heat plant, and one was for the other thing. The problem that we currently have is there's still over 200 people waiting at the bus stop that would like to go to work instead of sit there, and obviously we know that there's always more and more people coming here that would also be associated with that type of work, which is great. How's it going over here? We are actually maxing out. That is really good news. That's what I really was loving, or would love to see. But let's see if we can do a little better than that. This guy's coming in with 135 workers. Okay, let's see how many get actually dropped off. How many do we keep? Okay, most of them still, all of them. Might be all of them. Okay, there was a little bump there in the road, and that's fine. We have the next one coming in right behind it. That's also a good thing. Let's see what this guy can do. I would like to see at least a couple people left on the bus. 68. That is a good number. You know what that tells me? That we are close to the appropriate number of buses and frequency to run here and run steel at 100%. Most of the time. That is what we're going for in this case. So, cool. Well, what's the next thing? Well, we have to make sure that these guys are running at 100% too, which they do. They don't have as much steel as I would like them to have, but they at least run at a pretty fair click, which is wonderful. That's again, that's what we need to see. I don't know how many buses we have that actually have a couple of people left over, but there we go. We're getting to critical mass here. That's what we want. And we have a couple of vehicles actually struggling now, moving the steel that has to be moved. That is super exciting, because you know what the next thing is that we can do? We can throw a train in here that helps with steel moving of these 2 places. We don't have to rely on the trucks. We can just have a train drop off stuff here. That train just has to take a really long detour all the way around here and then come all the way back. But if that train is electric, who gives a darn? So... let's see, we have these wagons sitting here that are some open wagons and some closed wagons, which currently the open wagons are actually all gone. Where are you? You have 75 tons of steel on board, which is maybe the start of the right direction, because yeah, that's a full steel train. We don't get those a lot, but there's a potential that we may not have enough steel movement anymore. You remember what we did a long time ago? We built something. I don't like how that thing is bubbling there, but there's a lot of steel loaded, so maybe it's just a little too much for that behavior. There's a building that got destroyed. That was a farm that was there at some point. We built this guy. We built this guy specifically for helping with steel distribution. At this point, obviously, we don't have that much of a problem with steel distribution yet, and I think we even potentially have a little bit of room here for a couple extra steel wagons to be available. But we do have this friend out here. We do have that distribution office specifically built for more steel distribution and being a helper to this guy, and I'm tempted to make use of that sooner rather than later. I really like seeing that there was a lot of people running around here. Now we're a little less again. Okay. Yeah, obviously 350 people. We're not running at 100%, and we're missing coal. Oh, okay. That is a problem. That is a big problem. Where is the coal that we are not getting? There's a little bit of export coal sitting right here. Okay, there's only 290 tons sitting there. What are you guys doing? Where? How? Okay. Analyze. Did I say earlier that we're never done with anything? Because the steel production technically is doing what it's supposed to do, but these guys are not spitting out enough material. This one is empty. This one's empty. This one is barely, well, it's not full for sure. Where are all our things? Big garbage container. Why you empty? Why did this one break down? What's the problem here? Is our wear and tear too high? No, that should be fine. There is a construction office that broke down a long time ago, potentially. That would be a problem, because I think this one was the cranes for the area, and because I only placed one construction office here, that was probably not very helpful. Okay, there's a little culprit of what's going on here, and obviously one of the biggest problems is that people are currently not doing all the things that I need them to do. Fair enough. Demolition office, what is your actual capability? Missing covered truck for explosives. You're sitting here and nothing is assigned to you. Well, all right then. And there seems to be a small issue on the island, but don't fret. Don't fret. Fret. Not suitable for hazardous waste. You can if you drop it off into a storage. Alright, what are you going to do with the hazardous waste? You can just drop the hazardous waste here. The other stuff has to go somewhere too, but honestly we mostly just have mixed waste pretty much everywhere. Hazardous waste is special, so maybe that's going to be okay. What we need is, well, demolish those things, and now they're actually driving around, that's good. We also need at least one more construction office that can actually handle the operations of this part on the island. And then I do 100% want to increase the number of workers that we have available here, just because this is a little light right now, and we can't really afford that. There's a space right here, right? Yeah, definitely a space right here. All you need is a dirt road. You don't need anything else. There you go. Construction office 4. This is your friend, and then once these guys get done, those are your friends as well. You guys are kind of doing what you're supposed to do. There's just nobody available to do, you know, actual work, and we need the coal to actually come out of here. So let's make sure that this is all turned up to max. That one looks good. This one looks good, etc., etc. Before you say, Bebo Joy, you brought this upon yourself because you did put the coal, the highest volume item for steel production. Remember, iron is pretty low. It's like about half of the amount of coal that you need. You put that across the maps, and you're trying to get it in with ships which do not have distribution offices or alike, plus they like to run aground all the time. Yes, it was a test. And that one, if that is the reason why things are not working, I am okay with that being the problem why things are not working. I just hope that that is not the final straw in all the things that we need to do here, but we do need to turn on the coal production just a little more. Would you mind becoming part of the line that actually runs over here instead of where you're currently sitting? Because I think it will go... where's this one? Is this the good one? No, that's not the good one. Alright, I need to find the other coal distributor that sits down here. And honestly, I currently have no idea where the other coal even sits. You have coal? You have load everything, but that's not super helpful. Is anyone with coal heading this way? You. Gravel. Useless. You have some coal. Where are you going? Export utilities. You're one of those guys. Okay, what about you? You have some coal. Where are you heading right now? You're heading to number 4. Number 2 is down there. Number 4 is out here, and you have 4,000 tons with you currently. That's not bad. And I think we have a couple extra ones doing that as well. Let's do this so I can actually find my bearings a little bit, because I'm a little flustered. I'm a little flustered that this is happening. I was thinking steel will be fine, but obviously there had to be something else wrong with it, and that is the way it is. We still have 300 tons of meat sitting here, so I guess we don't have to worry about that for a little while. But yeah, we need more coal. Okay, this is the building transparent. No, rename building. Steel, coal dump. Okay. Who's all delivering to this thing? I want to see what our first coal industry is doing, which is down here. You have barely anything stored. Okay. Barely anyone working here, barely anyone working here. Okay, we can throw money at this problem because the people here are not unhappy. There's just not enough of them. And that we can fix. So let's increase our potential. The ones that are already increased before are still kind of here, at least some of them. Hopefully it stays like that. But yeah, we need more coal. So let's get those moving. Yeah, without coal, we will not survive whatever period of time. So this just has to happen. Very good. That should be enough to get a couple things moving at least in this area. Your mines are also running pretty empty. Okay, this is not enough then. We need several more people. And potentially also help from, you know, that little beach town down there. Let's see how they feel about what I'm doing. You're pretty much empty. Alright, that's not a good sign. And I think that's really a sign that we have to concentrate more on Mini-Me than that little coal island experiment that's going on down there. Get a couple more extra people in here. That looks good. I am a little worried that this line is still here and the buses are never able to do the thing. Alright, let's see what we can help with. If we tell you to bring everyone home, then tell you to distribution office also bring everyone home for the time being. Wow, that's not helpful. How about you? Where do you go? Technical service. Beautiful. So everyone else? Pretty much. Is there anyone on this bus? Not really. What is this? Water substation. Great. I don't know why so many things have been destroyed in this area at this point. Also, this demolition office should have no problem going to this water substation down here unless I never made a footpath connection to it, which apparently I have not done, which is why this one actually was destroyed, because there was no way to get to it. So that's also very exciting and stuff. At least there's barely any waste associated with it, so that's all going to be fine. And you have a full worker crew coming in, so they can all get rid of the waste. Great. Mini-Me is saved. Yeah, right. 7 million in the bank. Cool. We can stress over more things. This is just what will happen when you do things wrong. Every single time. And I'm okay with being punished for that. You cannot move or extra mixed waste. That makes sense because all of these are supposed to be full. Also, you're mostly not needing all of this. So let's fix what's going on here. What is the waste that you're actually producing? Construction waste, bio waste, burnable waste, other waste. All right. That's the wrong one, buddy. Talk to your friend, though. It's fine. We want... What do we want? Construction waste is a big one. So let's make like 3 of those. Then what did you say? You said bio waste. Alright, we have one of those. Burnable waste and other waste. We cannot separate burnable waste, but we can separate other waste. So there's one, there's one, there's one. I want 1 bio waste. There's no biohazard. So let's do this and 2 construction wastes. I would like to not do hazardous waste. There you go. Now we're talking. 2 construction waste and this one. That is going to be the guideline for all the other stands as well, and hopefully they can produce a little more because of that. Looks like there's one more that you forgot out here. That's a slightly different one over here. Alright, let's see what you're producing. You're the power plant. Power plant produces burnable waste and ash. So slightly different, but the composition that we have, we're no longer with money. We don't have enough coal to make this work. I am very disappointed in that. I didn't think that was going to be what's going to happen, but obviously that is exactly what has happened, so it is what it is, and there's not much we can do. You cannot store mixed waste? I think you'll be fine. So everyone is happy to come down here. That overruns all of our workers that have to work at 50% because you cannot... Oh, this is a problem. This is a wonderful little problem. How can we just get rid of all of this? Where's our waste truck? Nobody's here yet. I need this to be highest priority so we can actually rebuild it. Yeah, obviously I feel bad that this happen because I had to put them... the distribution office is never the problem. There you go. You actually picked it up. Great. Get out of here. Construction office 4. This is yours. Highest priority. Make water flow. And once water flows, I can worry again about making people come in here. Plastic waste. I don't know what my plan with plastic waste was, but we're just going to empty that dump right now. I think this one's supposed to pull it out, but I don't know. The only problem is right now everything is slow if you don't supply enough water. Okay, so let's just wait a minute until this thing is built. I gave it as much wiggle room as I could. I don't have any more money. We are pretty much out. This is either going to make or break this. I don't know when we're going to get money back. We need coal. I sent a couple ships out that were partially ready. I know that we spend a ton of money currently on, you know, things that maybe not matter. But if these guys can go through all the trash that gets delivered here, and I don't expect them to, but at least with bringing water and full buses down here, I do anticipate them to get a couple things done. As you can see, they're only at 80% per production. I hope that's just productivity and not something else. There is 90, 90, 70, 80, 106, 47. So yeah, that should just average out to 80% production. But all of these trucks have to get emptied out. If they don't get emptied out, we have problems all over the place. And this looks really, really good right now. I'm okay with it almost filling up, but as long as we're staying kind of in front of it, we're doing what we're supposed to do. Yes, we could dump some of it directly into the incinerator if we wanted to, if we need a quick win, but then that is waste that just goes into the landfill, and once it's in the landfill, it never goes out of there, just like in real life. So I don't really want to risk that if I can avoid it. I will restate that I am a little flabbergasted by the lack of coal for steel production that we have at this point. I thought things were fine. I didn't think that they were perfect, but I thought that things were fine, that we could just do the things that we wanted to do, and life was okay. But obviously that is not the case. Yes, it's nice to have this coal harbor sitting here that now collects a little bit of coal. We have enough people going through here to actually churn through a little bit of coal, but you have nothing, you have nothing. I think, okay, there's one ship at least sitting here that's unloading now, finally, a little bit of steel, but look at this, all the trucks already caught up to the steel production that we wanted here, so really haven't won anything yet, and everyone's kind of totally behind. So I am not convinced that we have done it, and again, we still need more coal, and there's more coal to be had down here. It's a longer line, but we have enough ships that should be able to take care of this behavior. So let's just do this. You please go out and dump whatever you have here. How many people do we have working? At least some. That's good. This is always empty. That's not good. That's really just an indicator for not having enough workers in the coal mines. But I can't really get more workers in at this stage. How are you doing? We have no fire trucks still. All right. How many fire trucks would you like to build? I have no idea, but more is, I think, the answer that we need to get this all done. So there's fire trucks. Do maybe 20. Maybe that gives us a good starting point for now at least. And, well, we'll just see how that goes. Cool. A couple buses here, a couple police cars, an ambulance. Yeah, nothing too exciting, but I think we can get a couple more police cars into that city for steel. Just in case when people get bored, they don't do anything stupid. You know what I mean. There you go. And none there. That should be fine. None here. That's also fine. How are you doing in general? Pub or tavern cannot visit because no booze. Too bad. Not patrolled and place of spirituality and other things. Aren't you using the side tower? The side tower is wonderful. The sports hall also heard only good things about. But oh well. Okay, you, sir, are not keeping up with what I need you to do. The three trucks that are sitting here are not able to keep... Gosh. Okay, let's not diagnose. We know exactly what's wrong with that, but they're supposed to bring stuff down here. Obviously, that's not enough, and we don't have enough waste container trucks to actually handle this. So let's just move around on the map and see where we are. Is this eye-opening? I wouldn't say that. It is frustrating. That I would say for sure. So that's cool. Our trucks are also apparently not able to keep up with this thing. Really didn't feel like there were that many of them, but that's fine, I suppose. What are you doing? You're doing normal truck building? Truck things? Alright. We need some more large container trucks. Do we have any sitting out here right now? No. No, we do not. Large containers are not a thing. Okay. You talked about that you're going to import some of them anyways. Are you just going to do that right now and let that happen? I think I don't have a real choice. Alright, get this one out of here. 92 million, yes please. Get moving. And talk to the border. What do we have? No, don't import NATO vehicles. You're gonna have trouble actually doing anything with them. So, here you are. Not containers. I want waste truck. There you go. The big one, 1.6 million. Ouch! Why is it so expensive? This one's much cheaper. How about we just get like 10 of... I can barely afford 10 of those. I can't afford these. I have to go to the NATO side to get vehicles if they're even cheaper than those guys, but I am honestly not convinced by that. This guy, 1.3... Yeah, we can't really afford many more of these either. So no, we just have to build them. Get them in your queue and hope that they get done at a reasonable time. Otherwise, you're just gonna see all of this in the rear. That's no fun. I don't know. I'm gonna start with a... Gosh, I hate that it does this. Technically, I did tell it build in random color, but practically, it kind of does what it wants. So here we are. Let's start with 30. Just right after those fire trucks are done, get 30 vehicles. And maybe that is enough to turn the city on. For the time being, this is not the place where you want it to be. Let's go over here. Okay. Do you have any real issues? Not really. And you guys are still trying to unload stuff, which is actually exciting. 1.6 tons, can you get rid of it? No. No, you cannot. Where are the trucks? I had 3 trucks delivered here. You just can't get certain things. Okay, where are you? How are we producing that much more? I wonder if a lot of the production comes from, the waste production that is, comes from the industries and not the city that we currently have running around here. But, so you go here, you pick up a whole thing, great. You take that somewhere and you do your thing, and all the technical service trucks are just like, yay, I know what to do with this. Alright. I think that really translates to find the place that has too many, like, large container trucks and move them around. I think I have a place for that. This guy over here. I barely ever see these guys moving around because the vehicle production line is not as dirty as I expected it to be. So that's what we're going to use to fill you up. And I will help with this one as well. 4 trucks for that will be enough. And we're just going to assign the same things to this guy. And we'll see how it works, how it goes. Cool. A little bit of coal. Barely a little bit of coal sitting here. That's not exciting. That is probably a bauxite. No, an iron guy. There's a little bit of coal going back home. You need to go here, buddy. I don't want you to go to any of the other places. How about you? How about you? You have 3,000 tons. Yes, steel coal dump. Am I shooting myself in the foot now with coal that I need for the winter? Yeah, possibly. And I think that is a segue to... How did we do? Well, I went into this thinking that this save is relatively savable. I don't know that the ridiculous amount of loans that I have taken out over the last few, well, these couple episodes, but also before, have that much to do with it. I think it can be totally argued that I did not spend it very well. There's probably other things that would be more important, more interesting to put your money on, that I didn't put my money on. Should I just import coal from the border? That is an option. It doesn't cost that much. But yeah, did I spend it wisely? Probably not. I put all my eggs in the steel basket. The steel basket is kind of working. It's doing what I wanted it to do. I have this one mostly full most of the time. The problem is it cannot produce enough because we don't have enough coal to do the next thing. Also, the conveyor belts that we have cannot keep up with the amount of coal that we need sitting here for this guy to actually produce everything. Because look at this, it's just sitting at about 50 to 70%. And that's not what I would expect with people that are relatively happy. Well, actually 70 to 80% is not that far off. So here's what I'm going to do. It says 116 million in the bank, 120 million now. Cool. I will let this run for just a tiny bit, not super much longer, because honestly, we are out of options. We are pretty much at the end of the loan. This money is not a shipload full. So the next ship that we get that is dragging out our money because it has to import something is going to bankrupt us. We have a couple options. There's 132 million sitting right here. All right. Sent that one out because that will be nice. We have another option potentially sitting in the vehicle storage. Nope. And this one's also not full enough to actually make a difference. So not great. Not great there. But you got to start somewhere. And then how are you guys doing? You guys are just a couple buses, which tells me that the fire trucks are still being gobbled up like it's nothing, which vehicle maintenance is the thing that I thought was a problem. And it is. Vehicle maintenance is a problem because vehicle is also my main export, and I'm not exporting enough vehicles, nor am I producing enough steel today to handle that demand and that production level that I need here. So yeah, I'm just going to let this run until I'm actually bankrupt, and either I will be bankrupt or my loan is going to be paid off. It's one or the other. Nothing in between. Okay, I will see you in a second, and you will know what it is. Well, is it enough? Was it enough? Are we surviving? Is it good enough? Where are we? What's going on? I know you are curious because I am too. Don't skip ahead because here we go. It's working. I am very surprised. I did not think this was going to be a thing. It took a lot of tweaking, okay? There were a couple more things that I had to do, but it was mostly around the shipping lines that I had here weren't supposed to wait until unloaded here, so that wasn't super helpful. I'm sure there's going to be another ship jam just coming up here, but that was one big thing. I invited all the people in. I had a small shrinkage of population, and that actually hurt my iron production, which was quite annoying. But that is back up to what it's supposed to be now. I can even potentially add another train to transport more of the iron or get a distribution office in there. But they are producing, and the not the iron mines, but the steel mines are doing what they're supposed to do and churning out everything that they need. One extremely important thing I had to do before I let this run for a little over probably 3 hours, 4 hours at this point is what it took, was turn off all imports of steel. 100 tons, that's on the peninsula, it's not on the island. That was this month. Last month we had apparently 1,300 tons of steel. I don't know how much. Why is there that much steel coming in? I don't even know where they got that from. This year we're down to 161 tons. So yeah, last year I guess is when I turned it off. But I turned that off, and I also turned mechanical components off. At least on one of the ships, I thought. I told it no longer to buy anything on that side. But yeah, here we go. Money-wise, how we're doing on that? I was pretty sure it's not going to work because I got down to 0 loan availability several times, and as you can see, we're okay now. We are still a little upside down. We're owing more than what we're currently having in the bank, but we can pay this down. The amount due will be less, but I don't want to click for all of that because I cared about will it work, and surprisingly, it did work. Our steel ship that did the imports before sitting over here, and that's no longer used. All of our other ships are making money. I did add a secondary uranium ship, just a small one, because one of the things, there was a comment a long time ago that the large Lubanows are terrible because they take so long to get loaded and unloaded, especially when you send them to the border, that they're really not a good option for things like uranium, where the small ship honestly would totally be fine to just keep everything moving. Maybe 2 of these is also fine. I bought this one used for like 15 million, I think. This one is like 500 million or whatever it is now. So the return on that investment comes back really, really fast. But yes, everything is working. The meat packing plant over here, I did not turn back on it. I don't think that I want to go there right now. But everyone else is kind of doing what they're supposed to do. We have a good population. We are not full. There's still places without 21-year-olds because there's a couple places that just live in the middle of nowhere, and when people want to go there, they can. But yes, in the end, it worked. The fix worked by going ham on steel. So here's where we are. Everything is fine. We should increase the coal production, not coal production, coal transport. If we increase the iron delivery to this area, we're currently out, so there are always a couple downtimes, but we have steel sitting here. We have steel sitting in the mechanical components. We cannot actually export any mechanical components because it does take a little while for them to actually show up here and do the things that need to happen. And all of that is good. This can all be optimized, and you are welcome to do so. I will make this save available as a $1 download on the Patreon site. That's the easiest place for me to go and make that a thing. If you're already a patron, already are a YouTube member, it will show up as a download for you if you want to play and move it along. But yeah, Season X, as far as I'm concerned, it's saved. We are making plenty of money on all the things that we have going on. There are plenty of things to fix. So many things broken right now. But we are fine. Like this one makes 120 million. Yeah, we'll send you to the border. And we can probably pay off the whole loan in like a year or 2 from now. And that sounds pretty exciting. As long as everything stays relatively high production-wise. So that's all I have. Again, I did not expect this. I thought we had a bigger problem to solve. But once I got coal going again, so once Mini-Me was up and running, maintenance is going to be a nightmare. That's why I don't want to do the 20-year challenge. Maintenance is going to be a nightmare for everything that the island has to do. No thank you. Too many things that I did wrong that I don't want to fix anymore because we need to move on to bigger, greener pastures. But yeah, this is it. Season X, success. Finally, we've done it. Thank you so much for sticking around for as long as you have. Very much appreciate it, and we're going to see what the future holds because there are things that I would like to do. And yeah, I don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.